students, welcome. This is your English classroom. I'm going to help you to learn some lessons from your grade 6 English book. Are you ready, students? Okay, then we are starting a new lesson from Unit 8 today. So please open your book on this unit. Okay, students, please collect your stationery materials as well. If you have got nearby you, collect them and be prepared to learn with me. Okay, students? Okay, so you are ready now. Okay, so let's start with the first page of the unit. In this first page, we have, look at this. What are these things? Yes, these are mountains or hills. Hills, right? Yes, and our task is to observe these two pictures and say the differences. Can you see the differences? Yes, you can see the differences. There are two pictures. In the first picture, you can see greenery, more greenery, and in the second picture, it is less green, it is a more kind of gray, right? So you can see a lot of trees in the previous picture, and you can see less trees in the second picture. So what can you talk about the past or previous picture by looking at this second picture? You can say there used to be more greenery, there used to be more trees, and so on, right? Yes, you are right. Now let's look at another sets of pictures here. Look at your book as well. You can see the same picture, right? Yes, you have this. You have these two pictures, and you are asked to find out the difference. Look at here. What is happening in the first picture? Can you observe and say? Yes, in the first picture, there is a tree, and there is a resting place around the tree, right? What do we call that place? We call that a resting place or chautaro in Nepali, right? Do you have chautaro in your area? Yes, you do have, right? You have seen. When do you go to chautaro? When you are traveling on the way and when you are tired and you get rest under a tree, and there is a platform for sitting on it, right? Okay, so you can see this, chautaro here, and in the second picture you can see a vehicle, a motor, and there is a road, and you don't see that previous chautaro here. Look at the place, look at the area. Is it the same area? Yes. How do you know? We know it because look at the mountain here, it is the same. Look at the trees, small trees here, they are same. Look at the stone, they are same. But we have difference in this area. You don't have in the second picture this chautaro. We have instead a motor or vehicle, right? Yes. So you can say there is no chautaro now. There used to be a chautaro here, and there used to be a rough road. Instead of the rough road, now there is a motorable road. Yes? Yes. Okay, so we have found these differences in these pictures. Okay, students, now let's talk about the differences in points. There used to be, you can say, many trees. There used to be green hills. There used to be cleaner environment. There used to be a chautaro. There used to be travelers resting under the chautaro, and there used to be a rough road. So like this, you can talk about something that we had in our past, or in some places there used to be something in the past and we don't have those things now. Okay, so when we don't have that things now and it used to be in the previous years or many years ago, we can say there used to be. Okay, students, so you can ask your parents, ask your neighbors, what were the things around your houses or in your village previously, okay, and which things you don't have now. So you can say there used to be a chautaro, a clean river, and so on. Okay, so can you use these phrase, and there used to be, and talk about the previous things in the past? Yes. Okay, now we have in today's lesson a poem from the getting started part. Okay, so we have talked about two sets of pictures and we have found the differences. Now we are going to read a poem and then nextly we will read a text about same situation when there is, where there is difference between the things in the past and the present. Okay, students, so we are going to first look at the poem. Can you find the poem in your book? Yes, please have a look at that poem and let's try to listen and sing with me. Okay, I might not sound very good at singing, but you can try it yourself in a better way. I'll try to read it aloud, okay, in a proper rhythm and speed. Okay, students, so you can read like this. You can follow me, okay? I used to get an amazing dream. I used to get an amazing dream. In this speed you can read, okay, students? I used to get an amazing dream. There I got my long hair trim. Can you read like this? In this proper rhythm and speed? Yes. Let's read it again. I used to get an amazing dream. There I got my long hair trim. We were there, all three or four. We were there, all three or four. Wanted to play there more and more. Wanted to play there more and more. Did you try this reading like me? Okay, you can try it once again. Okay, let's start. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's start. I used to get an amazing dream. There I got my long hair trim. We were there, all three or four. Wanted to play there more and more. Okay, these are the 4 lines of the first stanza. Now let's look at the second one. So here, look at the picture. What is happening in the poem is described in these pictures. We will talk about it as well later. So you can see here someone is dreaming and you can see there people, some children are playing, okay, like you. So it is in a dream. So look at the hair, trimming hair. Okay, good. Now let's sing the next part. We cracked jokes and we laughed loud. We cracked jokes and laughed loud. We used to ignore rain and cloud. Okay, we used to ignore rain and cloud. Did not feel hungry, did not feel tired, even though whole day played in mire. Okay, so played in mire means happiness. So cracking jokes means making jokes or making someone laugh with our stories. And laughed loud. We used to ignore rain and cloud. Look at the speed. You have to pronounce all the words in the same speed. We used to ignore rain and cloud. Did not feel hungry, did not feel tired, even though whole day played in mire. Now next, the last lines. Where has gone those happy scenes? I used to play at least in dreams, remembering that I get pain. I wish to have such dream again. Okay, so look at this. Where has gone these, those happy scenes? I used to play at least in dreams. So the poet is missing the days in the dreams when he used to play and see the beautiful scenes and used to be happy. Remembering that, I get pain. When you remember that lovely days, lovely moment, he feels pain and he wishes to have such a dream again. Okay, so these are the lines of the poems to read. Now, let's talk about some rhyming words in this poem. Okay, students? So, do you know what are the rhyming words? What makes a poem? Rhyming words helps us to make our poem sound beautiful and sound, in a good rhythm and, good sounding words. Let's see the rhyming words, what they are. Yes, we have dream words in each in first line, and then 4 in another line, loud, tired, pain, and for dream we have dream as the rhyming words. Okay, students, so you can end the first sentence, first line in dream, and another can be dream to match the lines. Okay, that is called rhyming words. Okay, students, do you understand now what are rhyming words? Yes, now you can easily find out other rhyming words. For 4, you can find out more. For loud, you can see a cloud there. And for tired, you can see mire. And for pain, there is a word again. Okay, students, these are called rhyming words. Now, let's see the, meanings or the activities that the poet had in this poem. So the poet had had an amazing dream. He used to get an amazing dream, and he used to ignore rain and cloud when playing in the dream, and he used to play in the dreams different games with different friends. So different activities he did in that moment, in that dream, is that had trimmed and had 3 or 4 friends in the dream. He cracked jokes and laughed loud, and they were not, he and his friends were not hungry when playing, okay, like you. You don't get hungry, right, when you play. Yes, likewise, the writer did not feel hungry. And he played all day, whole day, not only for a short time, he played all day. Now, but finally, what happens? There is no such dreams. Now there is no dreams like in the past. There is no experience like in the past. And now he wishes to have such dreams again. Okay, students, there are different types of dreams, right? So here, what is the poet talking about is the dreams that you, in your age, do in a daily way, or daily activities. You do a lot of things that becomes a dream to an old man, okay, or bigger people, and that time it becomes a dream. When you just imagine, when you just remember about the past, that becomes your dream. So one dream you see when you are sleeping, another dream is that when you remember something in the past. Okay, students? So the writer is talking about what he did in the dream. Okay, what he did in his past, in his childhood. So here are different activities. You can now describe these, activities in the past tense, like trimmed. He trimmed his hair. He was not happy, and he cracked jokes. And he had 3 or 4 friends. And he played all day. And for this, we can also use the words, phrase like used to talk about the past events or experience. Like you can talk about like this: the poet used to trim her hair in dreams. Okay, so likewise you can talk about the poet didn't used to be hungry. The poet used to crack jokes and laugh loud, and he used to have 3 or 4 friends. He used to play all day. Likewise, you can talk about what someone did in the past. Okay, students? Now, these are the things in our poem. Now, let's talk about the exercise that we have under the poem. Okay, this is exercise C. It tells you to recall a memorable event of your life and tell your story in the class. Do you know what is a memorable event? A memorable event is something that you cannot forget, or it gives you pleasure, it gives you happiness when you remember it, right? What are those memorable events you remember now? Do you remember your friends in the junior classes? Do you remember your first day in the school? Do you remember your first day in your mama ghar? Or do you remember celebrating Dasai or Tiyar or any other festivals in your family members, with your family members? Okay, these are some of the examples that we have in our memories, right? Playing with our friends, enjoying with our friends, celebrating some, maybe birthday parties or some kind of festivals together. That gives us memorable events or experience, right, students? Okay, so I'm going to help you to how to talk about your memorable event now. This is your exercise. So let me show you some example. Okay, we are talking about a memorable event of life. This is our task, okay, this is our task to do. Now I'll help you how to talk about. As I have already talked about, what are those memorable events? Like as I said, you can remember the moments with your friends and festivals. Okay, students. Now you can remember the events when you went to Mama Ghar, and you can also remember the event when you were in grade 5. Okay, students, when you were with your grade 5 friends, you can remember such events. For example, I'll give you some examples. What can be those events or activities that you might remember? For example, when you were with your friends in grade 5, you can remember that you made when I was in grade 5, I made my friends. I made my best friends. You can remember the names of the friends. I learned English well. I learned to speak English, or I learned to do maths or science or any subject better. I visited to the zoo. I sang a song in a school program, and so on. You can remember different events when you were in grade 5. Okay, students? So you can make the story and use the verbs in past tense. Do you remember what is past tense? Past tense is a verb that tells the activities done in previous days, or previous last month, last week, or in the past days. Okay, students? So you can use the verb like made, learned, visited, okay, sang instead of sing. Okay, students? So these words make your events or your stories in past tense. Another, when you were in Mama Ghar, you can talk about what you played in your Mama Ghar, and you might have climbed trees, ate sweets, a lot of sweets, and played with cats or dogs or animals around your Mama Ghar. right, students? So you can use the verbs like played, climbed, ate, and played. Look at these verbs. These are also the past verbs. So look at our text. It tells you to share your stories. So stories are told with past verbs. Okay, students? So some past verbs are regular and some past verbs are irregular. Regular verbs take ed at the end, and irregular verbs have different forms. Like, for example, eat has ate as the regular past verb, and walk has walked ed with ed as the past form of the verbs. Okay, so you have to use them for making your stories. Okay, students? So you can say, when I was in Mamagar, I ate a lot of sweets, I visited different areas around it, I played with the friends around it, I made some friends, I walked to the mountain, or I walked to the hills, and so on. Likewise, you can make your stories. Okay, students? So can you do now? Can you do this task on C? So recall your memories now, such as I gave you the examples here, and make such stories and give it or show it to your teacher. Okay, students? Okay, now I'd like to take you to another part of the lesson that is talking about a text that is about the past and the present. We are in the same idea that we are talking about the differences between the past and the present. Okay, students? Now, let's talk about then and now. Then means previous time, and now means at present time. Then means past, now means at present, this time. Okay, students? So when we are talking about the differences, we can call then and now. We have a difference between then and now. Okay, so how there is difference in different ways in our today's world. I'll show you some example, through the pictures, and we will see the lesson. Okay, and for reading in today's lesson. So let's see some pictures. Look at this picture. Can you describe or find out the then and now situation here? Look at the first picture. Here you see a boy like you. He is writing, he is reading, and you can see the situation. There is a candlelight, and he is writing with a pencil or ink pen. And look at this present situation. This is our present situation. You are taking visual classes now. You are taking online classes now. You are writing on the pad now. You can see here computers. You have different tasks, and you are doing you are using electronic equipments, materials for learning. In the past, then means in the past, there wasn't any such things. There weren't. So it was the situation. And look at in this another pair of pictures. You can see here, in the past, few years ago, people used to watch TVs together with the family. And the TVs used to be like this, a big box, and people used to sit together and watch. And now look at the situation. This is our situation, right? Isn't it? You do the same thing, right? We all do the same thing now. We have the biggest TVs now, slimmer TVs now, and we have the mobile phones in our every hands, and they are not watching the TV. They are not sitting together. They are in the different world, in the same place, from the same place. Look at this family. All are using different, electronic devices. So this is the difference, then and now. Another then and now, you have also the same experience. The whole world has the same experience. Look at this, before pandemic and after pandemic. Okay, pandemic, we have this disease, COVID disease. spreading everywhere, okay, scaring everywhere. Previously, before pandemic, we were not worried with our friends, with the crowd. We were not afraid of the crowd. We were open. We didn't wear anything. We didn't use masks. Look at these students like you. They are not using. Now look at these another present situation like you have. All these students are wearing different face masks and also masks, and they have separate seatings arrangements. So this one is then and this is now. Okay, so these are the situation of the past and the present. Okay, students, so we all have past and present situation. Now we have the another text for reading. Let me show you. It also talks about then and now situation in the village. So first let's look at this picture. There are two people sitting here. Who are these people in the first picture? Look at this picture. Can you identify, can you guess who are these people? They are definitely no friends because they have different ages, right? And what are they talking about? You can guess. You can make a guess. What are they talking about? They might be talking about the different times or the past experiences, or this old man is telling something from the past, right? Okay, we guess it. Our topic for today's reading is Gairi Gaon, then and now. Okay, what was there in the past and what is here in the present. Now, before we start reading, let's see some new words. Okay, we have words like decided. Decided, you can read it aloud with me. Reached, can you read it aloud? Yes, that's great. Attracted. Travelers rest. Burr and people tree. Melodious. Chautaro. Okay, students, these are some new words that you might find. Now you have some ideas to read. Now let's talk about their meaning in short. Okay, the final word we have missed, recreation. Okay, and let's talk about their meaning now. Decided means to be sure, to fix something, to do something, or you are sure, you think it's okay to do something. And reached means to, go into some destination. Attracted means to, to like something, and you feel that seeing, visiting that things. Traveler's rest means, the place where you want to sit after you get tired while walking. Or you can also call Chautaro. Bor and people is a tree. Are trees in Nepal, and they are very big trees. Melodious means sounding nice to our ears. And Chautaro is a resting place. Recreation means to have fun and to enjoy or entertainment, get entertainment. Now let's get into the reading text. I'll read it aloud to you. You can listen to me and get some ideas. Gairi Gaon, then and now. Mukesh is an 11-year-old boy. Mukesh is an 11-year-old boy. He lives in Gairi Gaon. So you find here he is Mukesh. Let's find out the next person. Who is he? He studies in class 6. One day his English teacher told that the village was different in the past than what it is now. He could not believe it. He decided to ask about it to his grandfather, who knew many things about the past. Look here. Now who is the old man here? He is his grandfather. We find out from this sentence. As soon as he reached home, he went to his grandfather. His grandfather told Mukesh that many things have been changed in the village in his lifetime. His grandfather's story attracted him very much. The man is his grandfather, and he is telling a story about Gairigaon, a change that took place in that village, and that story was very interesting to Mukesh. Right? Now let's see the next paragraph. This is what his grandfather said. Let's see what the grandfather said. There had been a peaceful travelers rest in the middle of the village. Okay, people used to call it Bar people, Chautaro. Many travelers used to take rest at the Chautaro. People was bigger than Bar, I think. I used to spend a lot at the Chautaro and meet many people. People used to come there for rest and recreation, for rest and fun. We could hear melodious songs by the birds while sitting at the Chautaro. There were large, plain, smooth stones where people used to sit and talk about different matters about the village. Okay, so what do we have around the Chautaro? There is a large, plain, smooth stones, right, for sitting on it. Okay, so he talks about there was a Bar people Chautaro in the village. Now let's find out the next one. There was a water tap nearby. Children used to play different games there. Sometimes they used to spend the whole day playing there, even without eating any snacks in the afternoon. The school-going children became very happy when they got some time to have rest at the Chautaro. Chautaro was the place for fun and resting for the children as well. While returning home late, they used to spend longer time at the Chautaro. That was a public property of the villagers. Okay, students, so it was public. It was used by all, travelers, children, all used there for recreation and rest. Now let's find out the last story, what happens now. But now, Mukesh finds the Chautaro no more. Look here, in this second picture, this Chautaro is no more there. Both Bar and people have been cut down, and the beauty of the old place has gone away. There is no beauty, such beauty like green, big trees with shades and such resting areas. There is nothing. A road has been constructed by the Chautaro. People have lost the place to rest, and people have no place to rest here. You can see no Chautaro in the next picture. And the similar way, in that village, there was no Chautaro for resting there. Okay, students, so this is what the story is about Gairigaon. Do you have such village which is now changed from the past? Yes, we almost all have such situation, right? We all have different motor roads now, and we have lost the Chautaros. We don't use Chautaros now. We travel by bus and other vehicles, right? Okay, so we find the similar situation here, right? Yes. So you can ask to your parents again or your neighbors about such places in your village as well. You can learn about previous Chautaros. You can learn about roads, what kind of roads they had, or you can talk about the means of transportation, how people traveled, how people got goods or materials in that village, in your village. Okay, students, please ask and talk about the past, situation in your village. Now we have come to the ending, last part of our lesson. So I'd like to talk about some highlights that we have talked in today's lesson. So we talked about differences with the past from the pictures, and we also read a poem, I Used to Get an Amazing Dream, and we talked about rhyming words. We also learned how to recall our memorable events from the past, and we have talked about the concept, what is the situation of then and now, and we have read the text about Gairigaon. What is the situation of Gairigaon now and what was the situation before. Okay, so these are the things that we have discussed in our today's lesson. If you have any confusion, ask your teacher and learn more about this text. Thank you, students, for watching this visual lesson. I hope it has been a great help to you. Keep on watching and keep on learning. Thank you so much. See you on our next video lesson. See you. Namaste.